What's up, everyone? So, this morning, my daughter and I were talking after our workout, and she was saying that she didn't want to lose the competition. Now, I thought because she's going to be going into cross country soon that she was worried about not winning the races. But what she was talking about is this being her mother's birthday weekend. She didn't want to lose the competition to her stepfather as far as who was giving the better gifts. Now, what she was equating was the value of the gift as far as monetary versus what she can give in a non monetary sense. And I told her that unequivocally, getting a gift that somebody has taken the time to make and it put thought and effort and energy into themselves will beat out somebody who can go to a store and just purchase something that everybody else can get. And that's where she should really look at that, because what I don't want is for her to start equating value of gifts or in exchanges between people only to be transactional, only to have a dollar sign or figure or amount attached to it. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like if you've saved up, to get your spouse a new car or something that they've desperately needed, that there's not an effort in that because it has a monetary value on. So I don't want to step on anyone's toes who's had to make those sacrifices to really do some wonderful things when it comes to that. That's a very unselfish or selfless act as well. But what I'm talking to is what a child can genuinely bring to somebody and say, this is what I'm giving you as a gift. But not to mention, even for just somebody who doesn't have enough money, or not, I shouldn't say enough money, but the same amount. So a lot of times those are the gifts that we give. And then there's some people who have the money to give it, but understand that sometimes it's the personal connection in the gift, and that's what makes it special. So I just want to throw that in there. We talked for a while, and I really think that I got to the point home where I used the the examples of when I grew up. We would make each other cards, and she's done that. I've had her older sister do that growing up. Make the cards, draw it yourself, because people gain so much more from the gift. And what I said is, and I reminded her, I said, do you remember like when you'd come up to me and say, Dad, look what I made, and the pride that you had in that? And she just kind of lit up. She was like, yeah. And I said, you want to have that same exchange of energy. You want to be as proud of the gift that you are giving to somebody as you want them to be happy to receive it. And in my small, world, my bubble, I've seen more people pleased to give something that they made of themselves, and for those people to receive it, they've been just as pleased to see, like, oh my gosh, you took the time to make this for me. This is one of a kind. And one of the examples I used is her paintings and the cards and the things that she would draw. We all know what those are like, and that's why we save those. And what I kind of, compared it to is she was worried about not being able to get her mom a new phone and things like that. I said, but phones will come and go. And a phone is something that millions of people can go get the exact same thing of. And in 5, 10 years, they're not even going to remember what model it was. It's not going to stand the test of time. Whereas when you've drawn a picture, a painting, a poetry, that handcrafted mug, those things sit on our shelves or on our walls forever because it is special and it's a one of a kind thing. And this is why certain artists have stood the test of time. Picasso, Monet, Van Gogh. Like, these are paintings that we look at and say, wow, that is a one of a kind. And often that's why it's held such value. But a phone's not going to do that. And again, and what I told her is to put the competition out of her mind, because what an adult can give or generate in the form of a gift is different, because we've got income that's more disposable than children. But she said, well, my stepdad, he has to go to work to make the money to go stand in line to go do this. So I reminded her, I said, but you have to hustle different, because while most adults just have a job that's paying them, you have to say, hey, Dad, it's Mom's birthday coming up. Can I do some extra things to earn the money to get to go and buy these things, and vice versa. Her mother does the same. So I reminded her, you have to hustle. And sometimes hustle requires a whole different effort to get the money, to be able to coordinate a ride to the store while you're thinking of the things that you want to make. All of those things, I said, that is far more superior than just handing somebody a phone or a gaming system or a new TV. Like, those things are great, but they are going to eventually be replaced by a newer or latest greatest version of that. But that card, that picture, that drawing, we all know what it's like, and we all probably have something that has just stood the test of time that our children or somebody close to us have given. Or even if it's not that, did it stand out in your mind when somebody cooked you a meal for your birthday or for something special, or somebody spent time with you? Like, those are the things that we remember. And I couldn't tell you what phone that I got for a gift 10 years ago. And I did get a phone for a gift 10 years ago. I couldn't tell you what model it was. I couldn't tell you the details about it. But when you remember what somebody made for you that day, where you guys sat when you had it, the conversation you had, those things stick with us. And I think that that's a very important piece of life to kind of get back to, if we've gotten away from it, is to understand the giving is not what it is, but the exchange that I can have the pride, I can have the, I don't know, the want to give this to you in such a special way that it is intimate, whether it is an intimate relationship, as in physical between people, or whether it's just one of my, really close guy friends, whether it's somebody, all of those things where it's just an intimate exchange. Like, this is for you. It doesn't always have to be sexual. It doesn't have to mean that at all. What are your thoughts? Leave in the comments. I know you guys got some where you have something in a scrapbook, you have something on your wall, you have something on a shelf, you have something just in your hearts and in your memories of when somebody gave you something along those lines that didn't require monetary value. It was more valuable, it was invaluable because of the effort that they put in just to make that happen for you. It's not a knock if people just buy certain things, but I think that it's more special. And that's just me. So for other people, it might be like, hey, it's special that I get a TV because I don't have things like that. That's okay too. And it's okay to be the person giving it, because not everybody has that creative thought streak or energy to put into like making something. Sometimes that feels like more pressure than is necessary. So I understand that as well. But my daughter has this wonderful gift of creating some really memorable things. I will tell you, one of the things that she did for my birthday is at an open mic, she sang "We Shall Overcome" with my brother, who was in town at the time. He played while she sang, and she pulled him off to the side at last minute and put it together. That I will never forget. You could have gotten me the sports car that I always wanted, and there would have been something about the details in that car that I would have forgotten at some point in time. I will never forget that moment, because it was something that she knew was special to me, and then she created that in her own way, and energy. That was unforgettable. So I would love to hear what yours are. Ace up the sleeve on top of it, advice, comment, experience on any portion of that. I'd love to hear it from you guys. As always, I hope this finds everybody in your place pursuit of beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. And of course, put these things up here. Oh, and one last note. My mom always says to make sure you write the date on it, so down the road, years from now, you know when it was made. And I think that that's very cool, because it jogs the memory even more, kind of puts a timeline to some of these things. And that's just wisdom bestowed. So that's all I got. But stick around, guys. See some more, and we'll see you soon.